police have tapped the phone of Quell, who is the friend of Chrisean. A very close friend of Chrisean's, a friend that would do anything for her. He is gang related from what is being stated in the streets, and the police have viewed him as a number one suspect besides Chrisean. I do feel that Chrisean is a suspect, but until they have further proof or evidence that she's involved, there's not much that they can do until then.
From the second the first whisper leaked out of the Zeus Network office, the entertainment world froze. People thought it was a rumor, a misunderstanding, maybe even a twisted publicity stunt, until the confirmation hit like a nuclear bomb. The CEO of Zeus himself had allegedly called the police on Chrisean Rock, and the reason? Something so dark, so explosive, so unbelievable that even longtime fans of Chrisean, the ones who defend her through everything, are backing away in shock. Because according to internal sources, this wasn't about a fight. This wasn't about money. This wasn't about contracts. This was about Ronny Doe, about what allegedly happened to him, about new evidence, about fingerprints, video leaks, and a timeline that doesn't make sense anymore. And the craziest part? Insiders say the Zeus CEO didn't just make the call out of caution, he made it out of fear, real fear. Fear that the network could be dragged into the biggest criminal investigation the industry has seen in years. Fear that the truth about Ronnie's final hours might lead straight back to Chrisean Rock. Fear that the chaos she brought on screen had finally turned into something far more dangerous, off-screen. But here's where things get even more insane. According to one Zeus staff member, someone who claims they were in the room when everything unfolded, the CEO allegedly said, "If this gets out before the police handle it, we're all finished." And that sentence alone has sent the entire internet into hysteria. Because what exactly did they find? What did Chrisean do? What does Zeus know? What are they hiding? And why is everyone suddenly terrified to speak on Ronnie Doe's name? This isn't just drama, this is a danger zone, a ticking bomb, a career-ending, network-crushing scandal that's unraveling in real time. And trust me, what comes next is worse. Before this scandal blew up into the biggest wildfire Zeus Network has ever faced, before the CEO allegedly picked up the phone with shaking hands to call the police on his own star, before Ronnie Doe's name resurfaced in one of the most chilling accusations of the year, there was a long, messy, chaotic trail of drama that nobody connected until now. Because to understand why the Zeus CEO is reportedly terrified, why the staff is in panic mode, and why Chrisean Rock's name is suddenly tied to an alleged killing, you need to go back to the beginning, the real beginning, long before Ronny Doe disappeared, long before cops were involved, and long before Zeus became ground zero for this nightmare. This story didn't start in a boardroom, it didn't start on a set, it didn't start with a fight. It started with a relationship. A messy, unpredictable, emotionally explosive relationship between Chrisean Rock and Ronny Doe. One that insiders now describe as a bomb waiting to go off. Ronny Doe, the man behind the mystery. Ronny Doe wasn't a household name. He wasn't a superstar, a rapper, or a celebrity. He was quiet, smart, observant, and always in the background. A fixer, a runner, a problem solver who worked with multiple entertainment groups behind the scenes. But according to someone who worked closely with him, Ronnie knew too much about too many people. He saw things, he heard things, he cleaned up messes people didn't want exposed. And Chrisean? She allegedly depended on him more than anyone ever realized. They weren't dating. They weren't enemies, they weren't friends. They were something in between, something strange, tense, and dangerous. Sources say Ronnie was one of the few people who could calm Chrisean down when she spiraled. He'd been around during emotional breakdowns, fights, off-camera arguments, backstage meltdowns, times when nobody else could control her. And that made him valuable, but it also made him vulnerable. The secret that changed everything. The real turning point came months before his disappearance, when Ronnie allegedly found out something he wasn't supposed to know, something involving Chrisean, her past decisions, and something she allegedly did during a night she publicly claimed she didn't remember. One Zeus cameraman said, "Ronnie found out about an incident, a big one, something crazy, and after that, everything changed." But nobody knew what the incident was. Not yet, not until the police got involved. The night of the fight, months before this scandal broke right outside a Zeus taping, Chrisean and Ronnie reportedly got into a heated argument. One that staff members said didn't look like a normal fight. Witnesses heard, "You weren't supposed to see that. You need to forget it. You talk too much." And Ronnie's chilling reply, "If anything happens to me, people gon' know who did it." Nobody thought much of it then. Drama follows Chrisean everywhere, fights, yelling, threats, chaos. But this fight felt different, because the next week, Ronnie disappeared. The disappearance no one talked about. The exact timeline is still blurry because Zeus allegedly worked hard to keep this quiet. Staff members claim Ronnie stopped showing up for shoots. He wasn't answering texts. He wasn't picking up calls. He wasn't collecting checks, equipment, or personal items. He vanished, like he was erased. One staffer claims, "We asked about him. Management said not to worry, that he needed a break. But the way they said it felt off." Still, no one pushed the issue until last week. The missing person rumor. The internet never heard internal messages from Zeus. Employees reportedly leaked onto a private forum, messages saying Ronnie's family had filed a missing person report months ago, but it never made the news. Why? Because Ronnie didn't exist publicly. No social media, no spotlight, no clout. Just a man who worked behind the scenes and vanished without a trace. But here's where the story becomes terrifying. Someone anonymously forwarded Ronnie's missing person report to the Zeus CEO. And according to insiders, that document had 3 things that immediately connected Ronnie's disappearance back to Chrisean. The last place he was seen alive was with Chrisean. A witness claimed they heard her yelling threats earlier that night. A video existed, one that allegedly showed Ronnie and Chrisean having a violent altercation hours before he vanished. When the CEO saw that, every alarm in the building went off. The video that shook Zeus to its core. According to the whistleblower, someone from Ronnie's family sent Zeus a private clip, a security camera-style video from outside a warehouse. The footage allegedly shows Chrisean screaming, Ronnie backing away, something thrown a fall Chrisean running Ronnie not moving. The screen cuts, no ending, no aftermath, just a disturbing, incomplete clip. And that was enough to make the CEO panic. An insider says he stood up, grabbed his phone, and said, "I'm calling the police, now." The CEO's decision: protect Zeus or protect Chrisean. Everyone inside the building was stunned. Zeus always protected Chrisean. Always cleaned her messes, always defended her, but not this time. A staff member who was in the room claims the CEO said, "If the truth comes out and we ignored this footage, they'll take down the whole network." This wasn't a moral decision. This was survival. And according to reports, the CEO handed everything to the cops. The police response that started the firestorm. Detectives allegedly reviewed the video and immediately opened a deeper inquiry, not a wellness check, not a casual interview, a full investigation. Why? Because the footage didn't just show a fight. It showed something that could be classified as assault negligence, or far worse, which is why the police are reportedly trying to reconstruct Ronnie's final known movements. But here's where things get twisted. The timeline doesn't add up. Witness statements don't match. Chrisean's version of events reportedly contradicts 3 different accounts, and Ronnie's location after the fight is a complete mystery. Some sources even claim the police asked directly if this could be a homicide case. And if that's true, this story isn't just about drama anymore. It's about a potential crime. And the deeper you go, the more disturbing it gets. Because the next part of this story, it's where accusations turn into evidence. And evidence turns into a twist nobody saw coming. The moment police got involved, the energy inside the Zeus network shifted from chaotic to absolutely unhinged. Staff members went from whispering in hallways to full-blown panic behind locked office doors. Phones weren't ringing. They were vibrating nonstop. Executives weren't talking. They were yelling. And the CEO? According to one insider, he was pacing like a man watching his entire empire crumble in real time, because the police weren't treating this like a missing person case anymore. They were treating it like something far darker. The officers didn't ask basic questions. They asked investigative questions, timeline questions, violence pattern questions, motive questions. And when the CEO handed over the footage, the incomplete, suspiciously cut clip of Chrisean screaming, Ronnie backing up, the loud thud, the fall, the motionless body, one detective allegedly whispered, "This isn't an accident." Those words spread through the building faster than wildfire. People were shaking. Executives were calling lawyers. Producers were pulling up past incidents involving Chrisean, trying to figure out just how deep this hole went. One editor claimed, "We always knew Chrisean brought drama, but this is something else entirely." But the craziest part began when police asked the question nobody at Zeus wanted to hear. Who edited this clip? Because the video had cuts, not just glitches, not just corruptions, deliberate cuts. Timestamps that jumped, frames missing in between movements. Someone had touched the footage. Someone had tampered with evidence. And according to two staff members, the CEO nearly collapsed when detectives said, "Footage like this gets professionally altered, not accidentally damaged." It wasn't just a missing worker anymore. It wasn't just a violent fight. It wasn't just a rumor. It was a potential cover-up. Everything took a left turn that nobody expected. Hours later, a whistleblower from Ronnie's side contacted police and claimed they had the original version of the video, the one before someone cleaned it up. Detectives immediately demanded they turn it in, but before they did, a leak surfaced, a grainy screenshot from the original clip, not the edited Zeus version, not the watered-down one the CEO handed over. This one was horrifying. Ronnie wasn't just backing away, he was bleeding. His hand was covering his face. Chrisean wasn't just screaming, she was holding something. It wasn't clear what, a bottle, a phone, a metal object, but in the edited Zeus version, that object was completely missing. The internet erupted the second the screenshot spread. Reddit threads hit hundreds of pages. Twitter turned into a war zone of accusations. People were questioning why Zeus cut the clip, why the object disappeared, why the CEO waited months to call the police, why Ronnie's missing person report never went public. And then an anonymous poster dropped a chilling message. The object didn't fall, it didn't break, it was removed. Nobody knew if the message was fake, nobody knew if it was bait, but everyone knew what it implied. Someone covered up a potential weapon. And if Zeus edited the clip before police saw it, that means whoever did it could be charged with tampering. This is where the twist hits harder than anything before. While detectives were digging into the video, they started pulling phone records, messages, GPS data, call logs. And the first thing they noticed? Ronnie's last known phone ping wasn't at the Zeus warehouse. It was 2 miles away, near a riverbank, at 3:17 a.m., less than 2 hours after the fight. But guess whose phone pinged in that same area at the same time? Chrisean's. The internet exploded when this detail surfaced. One anonymous staff member leaked the info to a blogger known for exposing industry secrets. They found overlap in pings, same night, same hour, same location. They're not saying she did anything, but they are saying she didn't tell the truth about that night. That revelation sent everything spiraling. Chrisean went online acting normal, posting random chaotic stuff like nothing was happening. But the problem was the internet wasn't buying it anymore. They weren't entertained. They weren't distracted. They were investigating. Meanwhile, police were doing the one thing nobody saw coming. They started interviewing everyone Chrisean fought with, screamed at, or threatened on Zeus sets. They pulled security logs. They reviewed archive footage. They questioned producers. They even asked editors, has she ever injured someone before? Has she ever struck crew members? Has she ever escalated a fight to a dangerous level? And the answers, devastating. One editor allegedly told police she threw a chair at a cameraman. They cut it out of the episode. A producer claimed she swung at a sound guy once, broke his equipment. Another insider said she has outbursts that don't make it on the show. We delete that footage. Suddenly, the cops had a full behavioral pattern. Violent, reactive, impulsive, unpredictable. It was exactly what they needed to justify digging deeper. But here's where the first twist explodes. Police weren't just looking for what happened to Ronnie. They were looking for Whistleblower deleted the original footage and why. And this is where everything flips. Because when detectives subpoenaed the Zeus database to trace who accessed the footage on the night of the incident, it wasn't a random staff member. It wasn't a low-tier editor. It wasn't an assistant. It was someone higher. Higher than production. Higher than editing. Higher than security. It was someone with full access. Someone who shouldn't have touched the footage at all. Someone who had everything to lose. The system logs allegedly show the Zeus CEO edited the video himself. He wasn't just calling police. He wasn't just reacting. He wasn't just protecting the network. He'd been involved from day one. This wasn't panic. This was guilt. This was cover-up behavior. And the internet lost its mind when this leaked. If the CEO tampered with evidence, why? What did he hide? What did he remove? Why did he protect Chrisean? And most importantly, what really happened to Ronnie that night? Because the police now believe the edited clip isn't the story, it's the smoke from something much bigger burning underneath. And the truth, it's darker, it's deeper, it's more dangerous than anyone imagined. The second the detectives discovered the CEO himself had allegedly tampered with the video, everything escalated into a level of chaos nobody at Zeus, not even the ones used to Chrisean's meltdowns, had ever experienced before. The building wasn't buzzing anymore. It was suffocating. People were whispering like they were afraid the walls had ears. Phones were being turned off. Staff members were sneaking out early. HR started working from home. And the CEO? He vanished into his office and locked the door behind him. Because once police realized he touched the footage, the entire investigation shifted direction. This was no longer about a fight gone wrong. This wasn't even about Ronnie's disappearance anymore. This had officially turned into a case about cover-ups, destroyed evidence, and intent. The detectives reportedly returned with a warrant, one that allowed them to seize every shred of digital footage from the night of the incident, every camera feed, every backup file, every server log. Zeus had no choice. They had to hand over everything. And that's when the real horror started. Because the original footage, the one Ronnie's family claimed existed, wasn't just longer, it showed something absolutely chilling. A leaked description from a tech analyst who claims they saw the raw video said, the edited version Zeus gave the cops cut out the part where Ronnie tried to run. He tried to escape. He tried to leave the confrontation. He tried to get away from Chrisean. And she allegedly followed him. This wasn't a one-sided moment. This wasn't a slip. This wasn't an accident. This was a chase. The analyst claims the video shows Ronnie stumbling, limping, terrified, his hands out, pleading for space, and Chrisean closing the gap between them in a rage. The description alone sent the internet into a frenzy once it leaked. He was trying to get away from her. This changes everything. Why did Zeus hide that part? She wasn't defending herself. She was attacking him. The CEO's silence became suspicious. Producer's silence became suspicious. The entire network's silence became suspicious. And then something even worse happened. One of the security guards came forward anonymously. He said that the night Ronnie disappeared, he saw Chrisean leave the building with her hair wet, her shirt stained, and her hands shaking. She wasn't alone. She was dragging something heavy inside a large black bag that she refused to let anyone touch. The guard claims he offered to help, and she snapped, "Back up, it's mine." That detail exploded across social media. People were already speculating. Now they were terrified. But the most chilling part wasn't the bag. It was what happened next. The guard said Chrisean didn't walk to her car. She walked to a dumpster behind the building. opened the lid, and shoved the bag inside. When asked why he never reported it, he said, "We were told not to question her, ever." The dots were connecting in horrifying ways. Ronnie disappears. Chrisean is seen dragging a heavy bag. The CEO edits footage. The police find GPS overlaps. The original footage shows a chase. A missing person report is filed quietly. A dumpster is involved, and the CEO calls police. Months later, terrified. People started asking the question everyone was afraid to say out loud. Did something happen that night? Something irreversible? But the story wasn't done twisting. Detectives reportedly pulled the dumpster surveillance footage, and what they saw wasn't just a bag. It was Chrisean returning to the dumpster twice. The second time, she brought bleach, a bottle of cleaner, and a stack of towels. She cleaned the area, she wiped the lid, she wiped the sides. She wiped her tracks. All of this allegedly caught on camera. When that leak hit Twitter, the internet had a meltdown. She cleaned the dumpster? This ain't no fight. This is cover-up behavior. What was in the bag? OMG. The CEO had to know. This is why he panicked. But the detectives weren't done. They traced the garbage pickup route from that exact dumpster and what they found at the waste facility. They won't say publicly. But a worker leaked one detail. They found something wrapped in fabric with a blood-like smell. They won't tell us what it is. That detail alone nearly shut the internet down. Meanwhile, one of Ronnie's family members posted a heart-wrenching message. "We told them he didn't just disappear. We told them something happened. We told them someone knew the truth." Comments flooded in. Chrisean did something. She knows more than she's saying. Zeus covered it up. They protected her while burying the truth. And then, like a final twist that nobody was mentally prepared for, a new whistleblower showed up. This one was different. This one wasn't anonymous. This wasn't a random staff member. This was a former Zeus producer who had been fired months earlier after clashing with executives. And they dropped the darkest bomb yet. They said, Chrisean wasn't the only one involved that night. Someone helped her. The internet froze. Everyone expected the producer to name someone, a friend, a relative, another cast member. But the truth was far worse. They said, it was someone from Zeus, someone high up, someone who wanted Ronnie gone. The comments turned into chaos. Who? Name them. Drop the receipts. And the producer ended their post with, I have the messages, the calls, the plan. If Zeus doesn't tell the truth, I will. The entire world is now staring at Zeus, at Chrisean, at the CEO, at the footage, at the dumpster video, at the phone logs, at the missing bag. And every unanswered question points to the same terrifying possibility. This wasn't a fight. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a meltdown. This was something else entirely. And the people who know the truth are running out of time to hide it. The moment the leak spiraled from fight gone wrong to possible cover-up, the entire online world detonated. There wasn't a single platform, a single timeline, a single comment section that wasn't drowning in theories, fear, outrage, and pure shock. This wasn't gossip anymore. This wasn't Zeus-level messiness. This was a full-blown scandal gripping every corner of the internet, and the reactions were louder, harsher, and more divided than anything Chrisean Rock has ever been involved in. Twitter turned into a live crime scene. People weren't joking. They weren't making memes. They were dissecting every second of the leaked descriptions like detectives. Tweets went viral instantly. Why was she at the dumpster twice? Bleach? Towels? Come on now. That CEO ain't innocent either. If a bag was involved, someone needs to open that landfill today. And the hashtags, they were brutal. Ikemring justice for Ronnie, Yukkinring Zeus, cover up, Yukkinni arrest, Chrisean, Yukkinni. Where is Ronnie, Yukkinni, expose Zeus. Every hour, a new theory surfaced, each one darker than the last. TikTok took it to another level. Creators slowed down the leak security screenshot, zoomed in on Ronnie's terrified expression, and drew arrows pointing to every detail. Others reenacted the possible timeline hour by hour, adding ominous music and red circles on maps showing the overlap in GPS pings. One TikToker said, "If her phone and his phone pinged near a riverbank at 3 a.m., that ain't coincidence." Another one whispered into the mic, "And y'all ain't questioning the bag?" Millions watched these videos, sharing them faster than they could be uploaded. Entire pages were formed within hours, dedicated to compiling every detail of the case, turning the situation into a massive public investigation. Instagram became a war zone of outrage. Celebrities who usually stayed out of drama started posting cryptic stories. One reality star posted, "When someone cleans a dumpster with bleach, that's not something you overlook." A rapper commented under a gossip page, "Something off with this whole situation, and Zeus been weird." Meanwhile, people flooded Chrisean's comments with rage. "Where is Ronnie? Why did you clean the dumpster? Explain the bag. Explain the video cuts." Every live she tried to post was overwhelmed with comments demanding answers. She couldn't say anything without people spamming emojis of trash cans, bleach bottles, and the question, "What happened that night?" But the biggest cracks didn't show online. They showed inside the entertainment industry. Word spread fast that Zeus employees were quitting, deleting their LinkedIn pages, and suddenly going silent. One producer who still worked there posted a vague tweet and deleted it seconds later. "Some of us can't sleep." And someone still managed to screenshot it. The reaction from Hollywood was just as intense. Agents warned their clients to distance themselves from Zeus immediately. Publicists started blocking Zeus-related hashtags. One casting director wrote, "No one will touch them after this if any of it is true." Networks whispered that Zeus was becoming radioactive. Influencers who filmed with Chrisean unfollowed her. A YouTube personality said on a live stream, "This ain't drama, this is career-ending stuff. Someone covered up something." But the darkest reaction came from Ronny Doe's family. A cousin posted, "Y'all didn't listen when we said he didn't run away." An aunt wrote, "Someone knows what happened. We won't stop." And then, late that night, a new account appeared online, anonymous, but claiming to be someone very close to Ronnie. The account wrote one chilling sentence, "You're not ready for what we're about to show." The internet froze, nobody scrolled, nobody looked away, and then they posted, "If Zeus doesn't release the real footage in 48 hours, we will." People lost their minds. The comments hit millions. Everyone begged them to drop the video immediately, but the account refused, saying, "We're giving them a chance." Meanwhile, Zeus staff began deleting tweets, turning off comments, disabling DMs, shutting down their personal pages. It was too late. Screenshots had already been taken of everything. YouTubers went live nonstop. Some stayed on for 8 hours straight, breaking down the GPS timeline, the dumpster video, the fight audio, the CEO's suspicious behavior, and the sudden silence from Chrisean. One streamer said, "Bleach means cleanup. Cleanup means intention. And intention means this is bigger than any reality show." Even ex-Zeus cast members joined the storm. One hinted, "They always hit her violent moments. Always." Another wrote, "There's things they filmed that y'all never saw. Now ask yourself why." The internet united in one terrifying realization. This wasn't just a messy fight. This wasn't just Chrisean being chaotic again. This wasn't even just corruption. This was a pattern, a chain of events, a network making decisions in the dark, a night that ended with too many unanswered questions, a missing man. A CEO editing footage, a dumpster cleaned in the dead of night, a bag nobody can identify, phone pings in the worst possible location, and whistleblowers rising up one by one because they'd had enough. But the most frightening reaction of all came from the police. They didn't deny the leaks. They didn't dismiss the rumors. They didn't reassure the public. They simply released a statement saying, "New evidence has been submitted. We are expanding the investigation." And that one sentence told the world everything. They believe something happened. They believe someone is lying. and they believe the truth isn't far from surfacing. But nobody expected the final blow. The message that popped up on social media at 3:14 a.m. A whistleblower from Zeus wrote anonymously, "It wasn't just her, someone helped, someone bigger than her, someone with power, and the internet hasn't slept since." The entire internet thought it had already seen the worst. The dumpster, the bleach, the missing man, the CEO editing evidence, the GPS overlap near the river at 3 a.m., the bag nobody can identify. People thought there couldn't possibly be anything darker left in this story. They were wrong, because everything up until now, the footage, the leaks, the panic, was just the surface. The real horror began the moment the latest whistleblower dropped the sentence that froze millions of people instantly. It wasn't just her. Nobody breathed, nobody scrolled. Every eye locked on the screen, waiting for the next detail. And then, the hammer dropped. Someone bigger than her was there that night. Those words detonated across the internet like a bomb going off inside a room full of gasoline. Who was bigger than Chrisean at Zeus? Who had the power to cover up footage? Who could manipulate evidence, silence staff, and hush entire departments? Theories flooded every platform within seconds. Was it a producer? A showrunner? A Zeus executive? The CEO? And then the whistleblower clarified. It wasn't an employee, it was a name. A public figure, someone the world knows, someone who should have never been there. People went insane. Live streams erupted in panic. YouTubers started taking guesses. Some creators swore they knew who it was, but were too scared to say it. One massive streamer whispered, "This is a career-ending secret, a criminal-level secret. If they drop the name, it's over." But the whistleblower wasn't naming them. Not yet. Instead, they dropped a clue. This person arrived after the fight, but before Chrisean left with the bag, meaning this mysterious figure wasn't just randomly present, they were involved in the window between the violence and the alleged cleanup, a role that changes everything. People started digging instantly. Fans pulled old cast photos, behind-the-scenes footage, airport sightings, leaked text messages. Everyone was searching for the one person who shouldn't have been near that warehouse. But before the internet could figure it out, another leak hit, one that felt like a punch to the gut. A 6-second audio clip, static, footsteps, a shaky voice. Not Chrisean, not Ronnie, not a staff member. A deep male voice saying, "Move him! Quick!" That was it, 6 seconds. But those 2 words shattered the entire narrative. Move him, move who? Move Ronnie's body, move evidence, move the bag. And the voice wasn't yelling. He wasn't panicked. He sounded calm, experienced, like someone who'd done this before. That tone sent chills through every listener. People began to compare the voice to public figures. Some said it sounded like a Zeus executive. Others said it sounded like someone who'd worked on multiple sets. A few theorized it belonged to a well-known reality star. Then Reddit exploded with the most horrifying thread yet. There was a second vehicle seen leaving the alley that night. The whistleblower came back hours later to confirm it. Yes, 2 cars left, not one, and only one belonged to Chrisean. The other car? Registered to someone connected to Zeus. Someone with influence, someone who could silence staff, someone who had the power to edit episodes, pull footage, and shut down internal discussions. The internet spiraled into pure chaos. Creators were up all night connecting dots. People were screaming in comments, "Name him. Drop the receipts. Stop playing and expose him." But the whistleblower remained careful. "I'll release the name if Zeus denies knowing about the second vehicle." It was blackmail. It was a threat. It was the beginning of a war. And then, the police made an unexpected move. They released a statement at 9:42 a.m. "We are now investigating multiple individuals, more details soon." Multiple, not one, not just Chrisean. Multiple, meaning the police already know someone else was there. Meaning the whistleblower wasn't lying, meaning the second audio clip was real, meaning the edited footage wasn't clipped by accident, meaning this is bigger than Chrisean rock, bigger than Zeus, maybe even bigger than entertainment itself. But the darkest moment came from Ronnie's family. They posted a photo, never before seen footage of Ronnie just days before he disappeared. He looked happy, alive, full of energy. The caption read, "We're ready to say his name. Now we want them to say theirs." That post alone bulldozed the internet. Suddenly, everyone felt it. The heaviness, the fear, the realization that someone very powerful had a hand in the events of that night. And the whistleblower's final message before going silent, "You want the truth? It's coming. And once the name drops, nothing will ever be the same." The world is holding its breath. Zeus is in hiding. Chrisean is pretending nothing is wrong. Police are circling. Whistleblowers are loading their receipts. And the name is hanging over the entire industry like a guillotine. Before you scroll away, before the internet moves on to the next shock, before Zeus tries to bury this story, or Chrisean distracts everyone with a live meltdown, you need to understand one thing. This situation is not over. In fact, this is the calm before the biggest explosion yet. Because the name, the powerful figure who was allegedly there that night, the person who was caught on audio saying "move him," the person the whistleblower is threatening to expose, has still not been revealed. And the only reason it hasn't dropped yet? Because Zeus hasn't denied the second vehicle, because the CEO hasn't spoken, because someone inside that building knows the truth. And they're trying to keep the world quiet just long enough to clean up the mess. But the internet isn't quiet, you aren't quiet. And now, more than ever, your voice matters. So let me ask you, what do you think is in that missing part of the footage? Was Ronnie alive when the second person arrived? Was the bag meant to hide evidence? Was the CEO protecting Chrisean or protecting himself? Whose voice do you think said, "Move him"? Do you think it was a Zeus executive, a showrunner, a cast member, or someone even more influential, someone with the power to bury the truth? And why was the dumpster cleaned twice? Why was bleach involved? Why did the CEO touch the footage? Why did the police suddenly switch to investigating multiple suspects? Tell me what you think happened that night, because until the truth comes out, the internet is the only place holding these people accountable. If you want to stay ahead of this story, if you want to be the first to know when that name finally drops, if you want every update, every leak, every whistleblower message in real time, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe right now. Turn on notifications, because when the next piece of this puzzle falls, when the whistleblower drops the name, the entire entertainment world is going to shake. Stay alert, stay locked in, because the next update could end careers, take down a network, and expose the truth behind what really happened to Ronnie Doe.